Andy Preece, the first job is to congratulate you.
Yeah, I suppose so. Going to the Premier League with Crystal Palace, it's a big step up, and it's a place where every footballer wants to play their football. And luckily, I've got the chance if I can get into the team to play in the Premier League.
So how did the move come about?
Very quickly, really. On Tuesday, I got back from holiday, and I had a phone call on the Wednesday from Ron Nodes, the Crystal Palace chairman. He said he wanted me down to sign, and he wanted me to sign on the Thursday. It was a shock to me. I didn't realise. He said, "Oh, we'd agreed a fee with Stockport and everything."
Did you know what that fee was?
I didn't know. Not at the time. I didn't know. He didn't say what it was. So on the Thursday, I was down. Then by Thursday night, I was a Crystal Palace player. It just happened so quick.
Right.
Still sinking in now, really.
Are you surprised at the fee?
Yeah, anybody, you've seen people go for 2 million, but like 350,000, if you think that you're worth 350,000, then it's a bit scary, really. It was a shock, but, hopefully I can give them 350,000 and a bit more my time there.
Right. Well, it's a brilliant move for you, especially after joining Stockport for £10,000. I suppose it's good business for both parties, really, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. Obviously Stockport made a big, profit, and that's good for them. I'm pleased because they give me the break. Things weren't going well at Wrexham. I wasn't in the team, and the gaffer give me the break, and I've had 3 great years at Stockport, and for them to get 340,000 profit, it's great. I'm really pleased for them.
I wonder if I've seen, of course, before they signed you, they've actually signed Ray Wilkins, who was captain of Queen's Park Rangers when you scored the winner for County. I wonder if perhaps he put a word in for you, remembering that goal.
I don't know.
You'll have to have a word with him.
Yeah, but I'll have to see what he has to say. Obviously, I would have thought he'll remember the game. He'll always remember upsets. I don't know. Maybe he did.
Yeah. Now, as with a lot of footballers who tend to be sort of excel at other sports as well, on leaving school and even at school, it could well have been cricket, couldn't it?
Yeah, it was a toss-up really when I was going through school, like football and cricket equally, and with them overlapping all the time, it was football always just took preference, and I wasn't too bad at cricket. I played for Worcester under-19s from the age of 16, and I played a couple of games for the second team. Just club and ground games, and at that time, Graham Mick had just come over, and I played in a couple of games with him. I actually batted with him when he made 100 and I made 6, so you could see the difference between us straight away. So maybe that was something to tell me I think I better choose football.
You weren't a better bowler than he was then?
Well, no. I don't think I was better at anything than him.
No.
So I thought, maybe turn my attentions to football.
So your first club, Worcester City?
Yeah, 16 with the Colts. I managed to get on the bench when I was 16 for a conference game when Worcester were top of the conference. I come on a sub for about the last 10 minutes. It was a game we won 4-1. And it was really enjoyable. After the game, I couldn't breathe. My stomach was tight and everything. It was like 1,000 people playing in front of 1,000 people. I couldn't believe it, and it was really nerve-wracking. But from that game, I think I was sub a couple more times. Didn't get on, but from being top of the league, nearly got relegated that same season. It was unbelievable.
Nothing to do with you, though.
No, I didn't play. I a couple of games as sub, and that was it.
Have you always been a striker?
I have, but at school for I think it was two seasons that they had me playing sweeper. I wasn't happy about it, but they said, "Look, we want you to play sweeper," and that's it. And I quite enjoyed it actually. It was a change, but I always kept wandering up front, so I don't think I was doing the teammates much good playing up front when I meant to be sweeper. But I enjoyed it. Yeah. Right. It was different.
So you didn't make it at Worcester. You went to Evesham after Worcester, which presumably was a step down in standard.
That's right, yeah. What happened at Worcester was I got glandular fever.
Right.
And it knocked me about. I lost a lot of weight. I come back to Worcester, and the manager just said, "Oh, we don't need you anymore." Didn't give me a chance to come back or anything. So I went to Evesham, and things started to work out quite well there. Scored quite a few goals for them, and things started to take off once I went to Evesham.
Right. So then you moved to. You eventually got a league chance with Northampton, albeit a brief one. How did that come about?
That's right. With the Northampton thing, I was working part-time for someone who worked at Evesham, and he knew the manager, and he just got me a trial there, and I went up and played in 2 games, and they gave me 12 months non-contract, which I was really happy with. But in the all of the 12 months, I only got 3 appearances as sub, so it was a bit disappointing. And probably at that time, I thought, well, that's probably the end of it.
You made the wrong decision and reversed it back to cricket.
Well, I didn't think I made the wrong decision, but I thought that was my chance.
Right.
Gone. You think, well, you're lucky to get a chance, and maybe that was it. It had gone.
Right. After Northampton?
Yeah, Northampton. I had a little spell playing cricket in Australia when the football season was on, so I missed 6 months of the football season. Played in Australia, which was a great experience.
Just cricket?
Yeah, just
right.
Cricket, and I was working, part-time as well, but most of it was playing cricket, and I really enjoyed that. I had my 21st over there, and the Australians are brilliant people. I really enjoyed myself, and I was going to go back there, but things worked out differently.
So what happened?
When I came back...
You came back with intentions of going back again?
That's right, yeah. Started playing again, and I just thought, maybe I'll give it one more season. And I'd gone back to Worcester City, and the manager persuaded me just to give it one more try, and that's when things started to happen with Wrexham.
Right. So who was it came in for you?
We played in a Welsh Cup game just after Christmas against Wrexham, and had quite a good game, and I scored quite a lot of goals that season. And they sent scouts to watch me after the game in several games, and I kept scoring. And in the end, he invited me up for 2 months trial in the March, so I went there for 2 months and managed to force my way into the team. And at the end of that time, he gave me a 2-year contract. That was Brian Flynn.
Right. Now, at the time, I think I'm right in saying Wrexham were a struggling side, weren't they? They weren't exactly having the best time of their life.
That's it. When I actually signed, I was looking down the league for him, and I was going down, and I thought, oh, it's not in the second, not in the third. I looked to the fourth, thought, are they in the league? And I got down, and I think they were second from bottom.
Right.
And I thought, oh no, because it was relegation then, and I thought, I hope they can stay up. It'd be just my luck for them to go down. But we stayed up, and I was pleased with that, because I played in a few games at the end of the season. I didn't play a big part in staying up. It was nice to be there to stay up, and everybody was happy with that.
You played against Stockport twice for Wrexham.
Yeah.
Didn't score. County beat Wrexham both times.
Yeah.
And in fact, you were on the same pitch as a man that you were going to link up with in about 12 months later, and Kevin Francis scoring his second goal for Stockport. You had a good view of that?
Oh, well, it was an unbelievable goal. I just remember him cutting inside. I can't remember how far. He was miles out.
Yeah.
And it just pulled back his left foot and nicked this ball, and it just went like a rocket into the top corner. And he just stood there, and you just couldn't believe it. Just had to stand and admire it. It was, one of the best goals I've seen scored against me.
Although he was newly with Stockport, so we very little heard of him. Given a situation from the away team, was anything said about the fact that Stockport County had a 6'7" person on the field and what to do and how to do it?
Yeah, it was a major topic of the team talk, was how we're going to stop him. Thought it's no good challenging because we won't beat him, but if we let him head it, then we've got to pick up the bits, and that's what they decided to do. Really, was to let him win the ball and try and pick up the bits, because we knew that no one was going to beat him in the air.
Right.
But it didn't work. We lost the game, and he scored, and it's gone from strength to strength.
And away teams have been saying the same in dressing
rooms. That's it. They've been trying to work it out, and no one can still work it out.
Yeah, that's right. Now you weren't exactly prolific at Wrexham. You didn't score many goals, albeit in a struggling side. Danny Bergara came in for you. Had he seen you play?
I don't know. I think he must have. Yeah, right. He would have seen me playing the two games that we played against him, obviously. Right. But being in the reserves with Stockport being in the same league, I'd played a few times against them with Sainty and Jonesy, obviously.
Right.
Might have said something, and I think I scored a goal in the reserve game, and I think it happened pretty quickly after that.
Right.
Things weren't going well at Wrexham, and I just wanted to play first team football, and I just asked if I could go out on loan, and Brian Flynn had agreed. He said, yeah, it's a good idea, and Cardiff had come in, and I nearly went to Cardiff, but they couldn't. Wrexham didn't want any player that Cardiff offered, and they couldn't afford to buy me. Right. So 2 days later, Stockport. I was off to Stockport, and they agreed a fee. So I was pleased about that.
So you're happy to leave Wrexham?
Well, yeah, really, to get first team football.
Right.
Obviously, I'm grateful for Wrexham for giving me the chance to play in the league, but obviously it wasn't working out, and I hadn't done that well for them, so maybe it was a good idea for me to leave.
Debut as Preston, substitute?
Yeah.
The old weather surface?
My favourite surface, yeah. I come on for last 10-15 minutes, I can remember, I don't think I had a chance or anything there, but yeah, that was my debut.
I must actually just go back a little bit and ask you what your first impression of Danny Bergara was. You can be as honest as you want. Now you're a Crystal Palace player, you can say whatever you want.
No, when I came to the club and first spoke to him, he seemed very honest, and obviously with his language and that, it was a little bit amusing at first, but he seemed very fair, and the things he said to me, installed a bit of confidence that I was missing at Wrexham before I even touched the ball. What he was saying when I first come to sign, and I was impressed from the first time I saw him.
A lot of the players I've spoken to say that he's an extremely good coach. You talk about Kevin Francis and the work he put in with people like that, and have made them genuinely, much better players than they ever were when they joined.
That's it.
You agree with that?
Oh yeah, he's done wonders for my game. If you look at me when I first came to, the difference to now, it's unbelievable, and it's all with him coaching. He takes you behind, and he'll get you bending balls and whatever, and he'll spend as much time as you want to spend. He'll stay out there with you, coaching you.
Right.
And with me and Kevin, he's worked as a partnership, and spinning, making runs and stuff like that, and he really has worked hard, on me and Kevin, and obviously it's paid dividends.
And I suppose in the early days you had to work hard because you had Kevin Francis as the number 9, but at the early days of you joining, there were 2 or 3 players that he was trying out.
Yeah, it was like that. I think there was about 6 or 7 strikers or something when I first signed, so there was lots of competition, so you had to be at your best all the way through to make sure that you didn't lose your place, and you had to work twice as hard, really. But luckily, things started off really well, and I managed to keep a place in the side.
Now, your first full game, you actually scored at Swansea.
That's right.
Unfortunately, of all the goals we have got of you, we haven't got that one because we weren't allowed by Swansea to video the game. So although we've got some pretty obscure pre-season friendly goals that we're going to have a look at later on, we've not seen this one, your very first one. So you've now got you've got a free hand now to discuss the goal at Swansea, your first goal for Stockport County, in the knowledge that not many people will know whether you're lying or not. So you can make it sound really good if you want.
Right, well I picked it up on our 18-yard box. I can't remember it. I think I can remember Chrissy Beaumont had the ball, and I just spun off the back of a defender, and Chrissy played a great ball over the top. I was running through, I think it was just inside the box, and the keeper came out, and I just hammered it, it's one of them close your eyes and hit as hard as you can, and it was in the corner of the net. And it was such a relief, with having such a bad spell that was scoring at Wrexham, to get that first goal for Stockport. I was so pleased with that.
Now, the number 13 figures in the life and times of Andy Preece at Stockport County. The first time it appears is in your 13th match, and you scored a hat-trick.
Well, I didn't know that. I thought it was all bad.
Your 13th game was your first hat-trick, which was at Darlington.
Right, yeah.
Well, we won 3-1.
Yeah, okay.
A couple of good goals, so that would have been nice. However, then it rears its head again when, for the next couple of years, that was your total number of goals. You couldn't get past the 13 mark, could you?
That's right, yeah. The first season I came to, halfway through the season I got 13, in about 26, 29 games, something
25,
like that. 25 games. But the last 4, I think, I didn't score after I got to 13. So maybe that was a little bit in the back of my mind for the next season. And the next season I got to 13 as well. And then I was aware of it. Maybe 6 or 7 games towards the end of the season, I think I went, and I didn't score again. So I was getting a bit worried. And then obviously last season got to 13 again, but this was in the middle of a hat-trick.
That's right, yeah.
So I got off it straight away within, I think, 4 or 5 minutes. I was off the 13 mark. So that helped a lot.
What happened this season? Season just gone, 93-4 over 92-3. 92-3, never scored more than 1 goal in a match, although you did score in 6 consecutive games. Last season, all of a sudden you were knocking goals in for fun, and some pretty spectacular ones. Was there anything specific that you could put your finger on and say that happened that made it easier?
I think it's gaffer really, persistently saying, look, once you've got 1 goal, that's not the end of your game. He's saying, once you've got 1, I want you to get 2. Once you've got 2, I want you to get 3, 4, 5, and so on. And he just kept saying that to me, and I think finally, after 2 seasons, I got the message.
Right.
And obviously that helped, and that was always in the back of my mind. Once I got 1, to forget about that, go out and get another one. And obviously, with the hat-trick, a couple of hat-tricks this year, seemed to have proved him right.
Yeah, and I suppose you and Kevin by now had been playing together long enough that you were starting to genuinely understand each other as well.
That's right. Obviously, their partnership's gone from strength to strength, and we just know what each other's going to do all the time. As soon as he goes up, I know where he's going to flick it, and I know what he's going to do. And if you have a look at a lot of the goals, we're both involved in each other's goals, and you can only get that from playing with each other for a number of games, and we really struck it off well.
Yeah, like you say, a couple of hat-tricks this season. The Swansea one, which so you get past the 13 in about half an hour instead of half a season, and then the Brighton one as well. So you were well on top of your game, because that was the same month that, of course, you scored that beauty against Queen's Park Rangers as well.
Yeah.
In fact, I think what we'll do now, we'll run a few goals with handpicked for you, and we'll let you talk us through them for us.
Right. Okay.
Cheers, Andy. Right, Andy. So this is your first home goal for the club, seeing as we missed the Swansea one.
That's it. Yeah. I can remember it quite well. Baz played the long ball up front, went straight to Kev. Kev turned and played inside to Chrissy Beaumont, and at the time I thought Chrissy was gonna shoot, and he's just rolled it straight into my path, and I've just swung my left foot across it and seen it nestle in the bottom corner. And that was nice to score in front of the home crowd the first game, really, to get them on your side.
That's right, yeah. Now this is Bolton.
Yeah, important game this was. We were both near the top. Bolton were on quite a good run at the time, and Kev just laid it perfect in my path, and on the half volley I hit it, and I think the keeper got pretty late on it, and I was pretty pleased with this one because it was such a big game, as you can see.
And now we're at Plymouth, yeah. This was a cracker.
Yeah, this is important because it's the first game of the season and you really want to get off to a good start. And Neil's played the ball up, Kev's gotten his normal flick on, and I've just run straight onto it in my stride, and it just sat up on the half volley, and it's gone into the top corner.
Now that was the third goal, wasn't it? That game. Kev had scored 2. And I'll tell you what, after 90 minutes we were 3-0 up. We needed that third goal, didn't we?
That's right. In the end, at the time it didn't seem important, but by the end of the game it turned out to be the winner.
Yeah.
I think I went off with 9 minutes to go. I'd done my ankle. And I was sat there and goals were going in left, right and centre for them.
Yeah. This was Huddersfield, the day your daughter was born.
This is one of my most memorable. This is because it was when my daughter was born. I'd been up all night at the birth, and to score on the same day, I was in dreamland. The celebration probably says it all, really.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Good ball from Franey, one of
those. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, with Wardy and Franey, with the balls they're playing for, me and Kevin, that's why we scored so many goals.
Yeah. This was one at Fulham, slightly different goal. For a start, it was with your right foot.
Well, this is the delivery again, like from Wardy. Quality ball in. We talked about it before. And with my right foot as well, which is very unusual for me. I was pleased with this one because it was on the volley as well. And I was running at pace as well. I'd also had a bit of money on myself to score the first goal. That's what the celebration was when I was putting my hand in my pocket.
Right.
I think a couple of the other lads had a bit on it as well, right. So it was a good day all round.
So there was no way you were going to make a goal for someone else that day? Not until you'd scored?
No, it don't go through your head until I actually went in the net. I just thought, we've got a few quid here as well.
Right. Now this is your 12, 13 and 14, I think.
Yeah, this is part of me. Hat-trick this to the first one. Dave Miller tries the Glenn Hoddle ball, and for once it worked.
That was a crack.
And it's just coming over my shoulder, and one of the lads I've heard said, hit it. Obviously he thought, it was going to go in the crowd somewhere, so I thought, I'll give it a shot.
Right.
It ended up in the back of the net. It's probably one of the best I've scored. It's difficult technique to get that right. I was really chuffed.
And against Swansea again, you like scoring against them, don't you?
Yeah, one of my favourite teams for scoring goals against, please, really.
This is goal number 30. Oh no, this is a rerun of...
That's goal number 12, right?
Yeah. This is goal number 13.
Glenn Hoddle again with a long ball forward. Wardy's done well here for me. We played a 1-2 and he's knocked it back to me and had the easy job really just to put it in the back of the net. I remember that game. I think Wardy set up the third one as well, and he did really well for me. But he's unselfish here as well. And that's number 13. So
you're obviously aware that's number 13, are you?
Yeah, I'm just starting to think about getting this next one as soon as I can. This is the one. Yeah. And I think you always need a bit of luck when things are happening. Like getting off dodgy figures, and from the replay, I'm definitely probably a yard offside.
Right.
And also the luck that it was on my right foot as well, and it went in. So 2 pieces of luck there to get me off the 13, and my celebration. I'm telling everybody that's it. I'm on my 14th now. I'm on my way.
That's good.
I think that could blame him on offside, actually. We found it looked offside, we haven't got the greatest view, but we're not having a bit of a moan about that. Yeah, well, it does seem you can't can't really comment, but yeah,
Good job you scored there. I think the big man might have had something to say. If you'd have shot and missed, and he was in a good
probably on
position.
square, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was only 6 yards out, so I think you can forgive me for that one. It's a 40.
we've got a camera at the other end. I'm sure that we'll put that on the video, you know. Would certainly show that.
Probably just offside.
Yeah,
Not
probably,
that far, actually. Yeah, if you look at it enough times, probably I'll look onside one time. That's pretty simple.
Now, this is your last goal for Stockport County.
Yeah, I didn't.
The old combination again, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Francis Preece.
Big Kev again, you know, he's done great for me. If you have a look properly through all the goals I've scored, he must have been involved in probably half of them, I would have thought. And, you know, it's great to score. It was such an important game as well. We didn't play well on the night. And 2 goals in, I think it was 3 minutes, put us in the lead. You know, we were looking good to go straight up then as well. I was chuffed because the gaffer gave me a bit of stick at half time as well, so I was just answering it back there with a goal.
It was one of those games, wasn't it, when neither team could afford to lose. And I mean, we literally had 2 chances all game and put them both away, didn't we?
That's right.
That was the winner.
I think, you know, that on the Saturday before we thrown away a 2-goal lead against Cardiff. You know, it was unbelievable. We lost that game, and we played quite well, I thought, first half against Cardiff, and we came here, played terribly, really, and got the result.
Right. Now this one was the 96th minute of the first round of the FA Cup.
Yeah.
This
was great. It was like we'd won the FA Cup. I think it's because it's the second round. Oh, it's the first round, isn't it? It's the first round of the cup. It's getting to that third round, and you know, we really wanted to get in and get a big club. And everybody was going mad after it. It really was like we won the FA Cup, and the crowd had been brilliant all the way through. Silly dance.
I mean, it was just incredible relief, and because, to be fair, Rotherham got what they deserved out of the game, didn't they?
Well, yeah, they'd gone 1-0 up, and they terrible time wasting, and in the extra time, you know, we've got the winner.
Right.
So we backfired on a bit.
This is Chester.
Yeah, this is.
That's
going to be probably that's my favourite, really, because I had a bit to do when the ball came to me. Really, I got my back to goal and I took it on my knee. In the same action, took it me instep on my left foot and turned and hit it on the half volley.
That's a good touch there, isn't it?
I think it's got to be in my top 3. That one. I'm really happy, especially being against Chester as well, living in Wrexham in Chester. I was really happy with it. Now we are surfing there, and Toddy's gone. Toddy's in the water. This is an important goal. This is in the Autoglass, I think. It's when we got to the final.
That was a cracker.
Over a kick. Been getting a little bit of stick from the crowd there, and when that went in, you know, I just wanted to tell them all about it. I think that got us through. It was a terrible game as well. You know, that's probably the only shot on goal in the whole of the game. So,
yeah.
You know, we just sneaked it through.
Always nice to score a goal that's a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't score many like that, do you? Having said that, here's one that must be in your top 2 or 3.
Oh, yeah.
Queen's Park Rangers.
It was the occasion as well, you know, I probably have to be number 1. I can remember I went up to Wardy just before the kick and said, you know, I'll peel off the back, chip it far post, and well, I don't know whether he meant to put it in front of me or not. I give Wardy the benefit of the doubt, and I've got in front of the defender, and it's just sitting out for the volley, and when I hit it, I just knew it was going in.
I mean, that was That was about. I mean, that was the result of the round, really. I mean, it was the headlines in every single Sunday paper, Monday paper. There's some tremendous photographs of you.
Oh, yeah, it was great. Like,
Look at that.
you know, it really brought it home to you the next day when you pick up the paper and there's me and Kev and all the lads on the back pages and Stockport.
Yeah.
Well, it was Stockport, wasn't it? All over the.
That's right.
All
Yeah.
over the pages.
Yeah. I think if they run the film, you'll be able to see your new teammate getting booked. I'm going to word with the.
That was great. It's one of the best. Well, probably the best moments.
And of course, you made it on shortlist on Match of the Day's goal of the month as well. That's the first time that's ever happened to a county goal.
Yeah, that was nice. There were some good goals that month. Really good goals.
Yeah. Now we thought we'd put this. This is a cool. You mentioned about Kevin and what he's done for you, and we thought we'd just show you that, just as though you could give us your opinion of the big man, but don't go over the top because we'll just run that. You see, if you go too over the top.
Obviously, when you're working as a front two, you rely so much on your partner, and at the start, I think he maybe carried me a bit through. He carried me a bit through when I first started, and obviously, a lot of it's down to him. His flick-ons, him going in where it hurts. I picked up balls and scored goals, and I can't speak highly enough of him really, because probably without him, things might not have happened as they have, and it takes so much weight off you. He wins everything, and when I came to the club, I was the main centre forward who had to win everything. And that took it off me, and he was winning everything for me. And I can't speak highly enough of him.
Now there's a lot more to your game than just scoring goals, of course. Any instances stick in your mind of contributions you've made for other players?
There's a couple with Kev at Bournemouth this season. It was gone 6 or 7 games without a goal, and for Kev that is a major drought, and people were starting to talk about it and things like that, and all these games gone by, we were talking about it, saying, look, don't worry about it, it'll come up, and I was going, I'll get you a goal, don't worry, because at this time I was scoring, so it didn't really matter, as long as one of you scoring, it's okay. And then the Bournemouth game before that, I said, I'll get you a goal today, don't worry, Kev. And I moved down there, left-hand side, and I've crossed it to the far stick, and Kev's put it in, and I brought it to him and said, told you I'd get you a goal, and I don't think he looked back, really. I don't think he had maybe gone 2 games after that without scoring a goal. So, that was nice to, start him off again.
And what I remember is the Vale game when Kev scored 2, his 100th goal included amongst them, because you had a hand in both of those, didn't you?
Well, that was nice, to be involved in his 100th goal for the club was, great. It was a great honour for me. And if I remember, normally it's him flicking them on for me.
That's right.
And this one we just decided we'll have a change, and fling his long throw, and I flicked it on, and Kev done the rest with a bit of a overhead kick.
That's right. Yeah.
So that was nice. And then I think there was one in the second half, which turned out to be the winner. I think it was a bar pass by one of the Port Vale players. I've intercepted it and knocked it inside the fullback for Kev, and he's run on and put the ball away. That was an important game as well for us, so it was nice to be involved that way.
Good. Right, Andy, we've seen the goals from the Swansea game, the one that took you past the magic 13. You've actually brought the ball in with you. I believe there's 1 or 2 interesting comments on there from some of the players.
There's a few, Finn is typical Scouse humour, you've got everything, Preece, son. Electric pace, killer instinct. See the gaffer for another 25 quid a week. Alan, that's a standing joke amongst the lads. That. Got one here where's that one? From Kev. It's about time some of my magic rubbed off on you. Keep learning. Well done, boy, Kev. I think a bit has rubbed off now.
Yeah, that's right.
Gaffer. What I was saying about never being happy with 1 goal, 2 goals, 3 goals. He said, "Well done, Preece, but I wanted 4, Gaffer." So he still weren't happy when I got that trick.
Yeah.
So you got to go some. Yeah.
That's a standard thing, isn't it, that he writes on all caps as well?
I think it probably is. Frightening. Between me and you, Preece, we've got 15 goals. Well, that was my 14th, so work out how many Frainie's got out of that. Irons. Preece, pity you can't score 3 in training. Well done. I don't know what he's on about there. Like, is he on about 300 or one training session? Just around here for a few more. Is that lucky 13, Jamesy? All the best will go a long way in the game. Right, James, that was nice. Hopefully I can prove him right.
Well, you're going in the right direction, aren't you?
Talk back from Fulham did the trick. Well done, Andy. Dave Jones. I think he's talking about something Sainty said to me on the way back from Fulham, but I won't say any more. Sainty knows what it's about. It's quite funny.
So he wasn't happy with you scoring the winning goal then?
No, he had a lot more that he weren't happy with me about as well. And then the next game I scored a hat-trick, so that's what that's all about.
And it was after the talk, of course.
That's it. It was all down to that talk.
Right, yeah.
Which he can't remember a lot of, actually. I'll say no more, don't I?
It's actually unusual. Most of the match balls that you see are just signed by either one or both teams. It's unusual to see comments on that. You've got.
I think all the lads do it. Yeah, all the lads do it. Like, yeah, it's one from Rhino here. Thanks for the win bonus for a change. Well done. Because he'd been knocking the goals in, and he was saying he was getting all the bonuses in. Right. So. Some nice messages.
All the players there. That's great. Now, you've also brought with you, in fact, one of the things we haven't discussed yet, of course, you were voted onto the Division 2 Team of the Year by the PFA. That must have been very proud for you.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, like, we got this, everybody who gets in the team gets a medal, and, it's probably the biggest thing I've had in football so far, really, to get voted by your fellow professionals into the division team. I can't think of a greater honour, and I'm so pleased with that. It really was pleasing when I got in the team, and it was such a shock as well. I didn't expect it.
Because it actually comes from the players as well, so it's not as if it's somebody who's a media journalist or something. It's actually come from players that respect you as a player.
Yeah. What happens is you get a form and you put your team in, you put your goalie, fullbacks and so on in your team, and out of all the votes, I got in as one of the 3 forwards. It's a great honour as well, and it's nice for the club to have someone in there.
Who did you vote for, as a matter of interest?
I had the whole team.
Well, the forwards.
The forwards, I had Jimmy Quinn and Lovell, both of Reading.
Right.
Yeah, and I had the lad Archer at Bristol Rovers.
Right.
He had a superb game. We played him at home.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And of course, the two Reading lads are sort of the two that were compared with the Francis Preece.
That's right.
Sort of the deadly duo for Reading and Stockport.
They've done well, and I thought Lovell did ever so well against us there when he got both goals. So that's a reason.
Now, of all the games and the goals that we've discussed, we must talk a little bit more about Huddersfield Town, the goal you scored at the beginning of this season, or season just gone. We drew the game 1-0, cracking goal, but the actual night before and the day itself was a little bit special for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, started off for something like midnight on the Saturday, midnight on the Friday, so we got on Friday, Saturday morning, and my fiancée Andrea was pregnant, and she started to have the pains and that, and I took her into hospital, and about 3 o'clock she started to go into labour, and obviously I wanted to be at the birth, and knowing we got a game as well, one eye's on the clock and one eye's on Andrea, and will I make the game, will it be a long labour or whatever, but luckily for both of us, Andrea was only in labour for three hours, and she had a really, really good labour.
Right.
And Chantal Louise was born at about 6:15.
In the morning.
Yeah.
Right. So you've not had any sleep up to now?
No, no sleep.
9 hours to kick off.
Yeah. So I stayed for a while with Andrea,
Right.
to make sure she was all right, and looking at the baby and that. And I thought, well, I've got to try and get some sleep before the game. So I've gone back home. I've managed to get an hour's sleep, which I don't think does you any good. You're probably better off without having anything. Yeah. So I've got up and made my way to Stockport. Got there and gone to the game, and I've told the lads what's happened and that, but I didn't want to tell the gaffer. I didn't want the gaffer finding out because he might not play me.
So he didn't know?
I'm pretty sure he didn't actually know what had happened. I was trying to keep it quiet unless someone told him, and it didn't matter anyway, but I didn't want him to know. So,
right.
Obviously, after, I can't remember how many minutes it was I scored, but the game was going by, and French played a great ball through to me, and I've hit it first time and it's gone in the bottom corner. And, with the day and having the baby and scoring, I was on such a high. It was such a great feeling.
Yeah.
And I think the rest of the game might have just passed me by a little bit. Yeah. But it was such a great day. To have your first child and to manage to score on.
Took a goal back for your daughter as well.
And then on the Sunday, it was all the papers had got hold of it. The headlines about the baby and that, which is nice to keep. For the baby, because second day and she's in the paper, so that was really nice. It was a great day.
I must admit, I'm glad I didn't know you'd been up since 6:30 in the morning, because I wouldn't have backed you that day. I'd have fancied you to score the first goal, but you did. So
you're only a few quid, did you?
All right, along with everyone else. Yeah. Now we mentioned your daughter, your fiancée Andrea. Now she was, I think you've credited her with a change in certainly your lifestyle and what that's meant in terms of fitness and everything else. Sort of what midway during your stay probably with Stockport.
That's right, yeah. Well, like at the beginning of last season, like we moved into a house together, and I've been sharing with another lad. And obviously she was cooking for me and cooking, the right foods. I've been eating burgers and chips and everything, and maybe I wasn't as fit as I probably should be and wasn't eating right. And with Andrea, she cooked me all the right foods and looked after me really well, and I put a lot of the success down to what she's done for me really. Right. Since we've been together. She backs me all the way. She comes to every game. She's always behind me, and I think that was a big change really, because like I'd struggled with a couple of seasons with the 13 goals thing, but maybe it was just maybe a lack of fitness or something. There was maybe something, and with that and with the backing and living, with Andrea, obviously helped a lot. A lot of credit goes down to her.
Good. We can't let you go without discussing 2 sending offs that you received for Stockport County. Sorry about that.
Right.
Bournemouth.
Yeah, Bournemouth. To be honest, I think it was very harsh. I got booked early in the game for throwing the ball away, which is my own fault. I shouldn't have got booked for that. But the second booking was for challenging the keeper. I just went up with the keeper. I didn't go up with my elbows or anything, and just must have caught him, wrong or something, and he's gone down, and there was just a slight little bit of blood coming from his nose, and I think that must have just swayed the referee. And he's pulled a yellow card on me and sent me off, and I was really disappointed in that. I very rarely get booked, and to get sent off, especially as it was a close game at the time. It's the longest 20 minutes I've ever had in a dressing room, just waiting for the lads to come in, and unfortunately we lost the game, which made it even worse. The second one against Hartlepool, well,
at least we won that fight.
Yeah, we're 4-0 up at the time, so I don't know really what I was doing. It was stupid. I've gone for a challenge with I think it's John McPhail, and we both ended up in the back of the net, and I've just trying to get out the back of the net, get untangled from him, and he's kicked both feet at me and caught me, and for a split second, my head's gone, and I've gone back and I've elbowed him on the back of the head, and he's gone down. Referee's seen it. Deservedly, I've got sent off. And then when I get back into the changing room, I'm all down and everything, and there's Frankie, Bill Williams, Martin James standing there, bottle of champagne and a football, and there's Andy Preece, man of the match for today's game, and present me with a champagne and the match ball. So that helped to cool me off a bit, really. They're all full of tricks, all the lads.
Right, okay.
And that's what, I will miss the lads, actually. Going to Palace, a great bunch of lads there, team spirit probably has been one of the main things that's carried us through, and I'll miss them all.
Who that you've played against while you've been at Stockport has impressed you?
I think the lad Williams for Reading, the centre half. I think he's a great prospect. I think he'll probably be moving on to higher things. He's probably one of the hardest players I've played against. He's quick, he's strong, he reads the game well. I think he's a good player. There's quite a few good players that I've come up against. No one gives you an easy game. It's difficult to pick certain people out.
You'll probably wish you were playing against our form again come next season.
Probably, yeah. Maybe so, yeah.
Playing against internationals and
that's it. When you think about it, like.
Yes.
Well,
I was going to ask
you.
It could have been Cardiff City. It's now going to be Liverpool. I mean, how do you sleep at night?
Well, I don't know. I don't think it's really sunk in yet.
No.
To tell you the truth. Obviously, it will, and if I do make the team, obviously when I come out for the first game and look at the opposition, I think it might be a bit scary, but that's when you've got to prove yourself and show that they're no better than what you are, and go out there with confidence and just do the things that you're good at.
Well, I know that every Stockport County fan wishes you well, and we'll be looking for Crystal Palace's results, hoping that they see the name Preece on the end of it, match of the day, and seeing you score goals and everything else. All the best. Hope it works out for you. It's been great while you've been here at Stockport. You've scored some great goals. It's been a pleasure having you, and good luck in the future.
I've enjoyed myself thoroughly. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
All the best.
Thanks.
Be good.